Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Ice Center here in Salem, New Hampshire for tonight's NHIAA Division I Hockey Showdown between the Manchester Memorial Crusaders and the Londonderry Lancers. The Lancers are coming off two shutout victories, one of them being against the Exeter Bluehawks and the other one being against the Salem Blue Devils. Both of them 2-0 victories, both of them shutouts for the goaltender Cody Baldwin. The Lancers rank 9th in Division I coming into tonight, and as I mentioned, they're on a 2-game win streak, and they are averaging 2.69 goals against per game, while they are scoring 2.92 goals per game. So those numbers are pretty even. They are almost letting up as many goals as they're scoring. So the Lancers are balancing the goal scoring and the goals allowing relatively nicely. And looking at Cody Baldwin now, he is obviously put up, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. He has put up two shutouts, as I mentioned, both of them against Salem and Exeter, while he is averaging a goals against average of 1.99, in part because of those two shutouts. Obviously, that number has gone down because of those two goalless games for Baldwin. And in the Lancers' last 3 games, they've let up 3 goals, all of them coming from their last loss here against the Concord Crimson Tide. And here at home, the Lancers have recorded 28 penalty minutes, so let's hope they can keep that number down. That number here, 28 penalty minutes, is here at home only. I cannot speak for what their numbers are on the road, obviously, because we don't cover their games. But still, 28 minutes, and they've played, I think, 5 home games at this point, so maybe 6 coming into tonight. So let's see if they can stay out of the penalty box against the Memorial Crusaders. Face-off takers in Londonderry's last game included Andrew Morissette. He went 9 for 26. Troy Muldoon went 8 for 14, and Jared Tuckalo went 3 for 6 at 50% rate. The captain, Nick Donnelly, here at home has scored 7 goals, and he has 1 assist, while Pat Maloney has 3 goals and 1 assist here at the Ice Center. And as I turn to the Memorial notes here, they are coming off of, I believe, a victory. Let me double-check that. Actually, I take that back. They're coming off a staggering loss, a staggering 7-1 loss against the Concord Crimson Tide, and I just mentioned the Lancers' last home game here. And as I mentioned, Concord, not to mention, they are not undefeated anymore, as they just came off of a loss to the Bedford Bulldogs by a narrow margin of 1-0. So no more undefeated teams here in Division I as we near the closing stages of the season. The Crusaders currently rank 7th coming in tonight in Division I, and they have won 3 out of their last 4 games, with victories coming from St. Thomas, Bishop Brady, and the Pinkerton Astros. The Crusaders at this point in their solid season have allowed an average of 3.42 goals per game, while on the other hand, they are averaging 3.07 goals scored per game. And Memorial has played 1 extra game this season, as I should mention, so far, 1 more than Londonderry. They are 8-6 coming into tonight, 2 games above 500. While the Lancers are 6-7 on a 2-game win streak. And we near puck drop here, as the scoreboard shows 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And we will give you the national anthem and, of course, puck drop here at the Ice Center. Looking at the standings in Division I coming into tonight, BG is on top. They are 11-1. Concord is second at 10-1. Bedford is third at 10-2. Bishop Brady is fourth. Yes, I'll say that one more time. Bishop Brady is fourth. Obviously, Adam LaFleur, our other announcer here, who actually will not be joining me tonight once again because of his work schedule. I should have mentioned that a little bit earlier, but obviously I would have mentioned him by now had he been alongside me. And I'll say that once again, Bishop Brady is at 4th at 9-4, and I'm obviously, as I mentioned, Adam, he would be definitely shocked by that at this point in the season. They are, again, sorry, don't mean to be in your way. The Bristol Brady Giants are 9-4, and they are at the 4th position in this 16-team division. And as I mentioned just a little while ago, Adam would be absolutely shocked, and he would not believe that that is the case here coming into tonight. In 5th place, it's the Trinity Pioneers at 7-5. In 6th place, as I flip my notes here, 6th place are the Exeter Bluehawks, who the Lancers just beat on the road. Their last game played here, at the Exeter's rink. They are 8-6. Manchester Memorial is the 7th spot at 8-6. The Hanover Marauders are 6-5-1. And then we get to our Londonderry Lancers. They are 9th, as I mentioned, at 6-7. And from there on out, it would be Manchester Central, St. Thomas, Salem, Pinkerton, Pelham Malvern, Nashua North, and Nashua South. So obviously there are a bunch of teams chasing the Lancers looking for a playoff berth, because the top 10 teams here in Division 1 for this NHIAA league make the playoffs. The teams that are chasing the Lancers, as well as the other teams in the lower portion of the playoff structure, are the St. Thomas, I forget what their team name is, but obviously they are chasing him. Salem's chasing him, and Pinkerton are chasing for a playoff berth, I should say, while the other teams, Pelham Malvern, Nashua North, and Nashua South, are well below 500, and I don't see them making the playoffs unless everything goes their way from here on out, because they have about 5 to 6 games to play in their season, and everything needs to go their way if they want to have a prayer at making the playoffs. And the scoreboard clock ticks down to the final 3 seconds, and we will get you the starting lineups for both teams, as well as the national anthem. And obviously the Lancers tonight are dressed in their white. I have not seen them dress anything else in any home game here against opponent. The Crusaders starting lineup is as follows. Again, I'm sorry. Zach Pelletier, the senior, will get the start on top. Brendan Johnson will join him. Jacob Poitras, the junior, will get up there, up front. Eric Langley, the other senior, will be on defense. And Jake Gendron, the other junior, will also join him. And the starting netminder for the Crusaders is Jared Broussard, the senior. Head coach is Mark Putney for the Memorial Crusaders. For our Londonderry Lancers, Nick Donnelly, the captain, the senior captain, will be up front. Andrew Morissette, my man, needs to put something to the back of the net tonight. And Pat Maloney will also join that top line for the Lancers. The assistant captain, Merrill Nyman, will be on defense. Danny Bears will join him. And Cody Baldwin will get yet another start in net for tonight against the Lancers. He has started several games this season. I'll get you the exact number after the national anthem here down at ice level. And before we drop the puck here at the Ice Center, I would like to give you Memorial's statistics coming into tonight besides the things that I already gave you. They have won 3 out of their last 4 games. Those victories coming against St. Thomas, Bishop Brady, and Pinkerton. Actually, excuse me, I didn't mention all the Crusaders notes. I am absent-minded. I completely forgot. So I did give you all of their statistics coming into tonight. And I should mention that the head coach for the Lancers is Dan LeGros in his first season here as the Lancer head coach of the Lancers. And so far, so good. Although their team is under 500 at this point in the season, they have shown some character, winning their last 2 games after snapping a 5-game losing streak. Obviously, their last loss coming here against the Concord Crimson Tide, and that was by a narrow margin of 3-2, only a 1-goal game yet again. 3 of the Lancer losses have been by 1 goal. And that is something that, of course, they want to change. Obviously, they want to be on the winning side of things. As we get ready for tonight's game, I will tell you that outdoors is not pretty, so I would stay indoors at this moment. It is very windy, and I'll tell you that wind chill is very close to 0 as the snow is just piling across the roads all around southern New Hampshire today as the game is underway when the Crusaders won the face-off to begin this one. And chipping in deep is Zach Pelletier. This one has a funny bounce with a shot and rebound. A save by Baldwin coming out in front. The puck hops over the stick of Pelletier, and now the Lancers come up ices. Morissette gets one on goal, and the netminder Broussard sticks out aside. And Donnelly here to try to get some forecheck, but unable to do so. So here's Pelletier again with the puck on the near side boards, and he is now behind the goal line with company. Merrill Nyman chipping that one away from him. And here comes Morissette, but he loses the puck in the neutral zone. So getting checked off the puck was Brendan Johnson. Great check there by Merrill Nyman. This one will not go for icing, and the Lancers will get a change. And passing this to nobody in particular was Ryan Cardro. So Terrio here looking to get possession, and he does, as he comes up to the bottom of the circle and gives it to Brian Murphy, who chips this one all the way down into the attacking zone. And he knocks the puck away, but Shane White is unable to keep it in, so he just chips it in deep. And now here is Jared Tuckalo. Got it right again. Obviously, I have corrected myself on his last name and how it butchers. And so here's Tuckalo, and a shot here gets blocked in front. But Brian Murphy here to say something about that. Try to keep this one in. But Colby Austin just over the blue line, so a delayed offside. Yeah, right in front of me. That was barely across the blue line, but nonetheless, it was offside. On the back check here is Muldoon, unable to take that. So the Crusaders come up ice here, and a delayed offside. Jacob Poitras unable to bring in the puck before himself. But the Crusaders at least control here, but a great check by, I believe that's Andrews. Nate Andrews might be, no, I take that back. That was Patrick Murphy on the check behind the goal line. So now Austin takes this one here, and a shot there deflected just wide of the goal. Terrio puts it in deep, and now Muldoon has it behind the goal line. He gets checked off the puck there by Jake Grendron, and now a battle ensues where McKenzie and Muldoon go for it, but coming out of that were the Crusaders. And so this one goes behind the goal line of the Lancers, where the Crusaders establish possession here, and Cardro has this one, and a shot and a glove save. Got it with the chest, kept it in front, and covered it with the glove. Does Baldwin with 12:09 to go here in the first. I believe that is their first shot on goal for the Crusaders. And so Morissette and Johnson to take this face-off, and Morissette wins it. And Pat Maloney takes it here on the near boards and tries to get it to Donnelly, but just couldn't get out the stick enough to corral that. So Pat Maloney here in the neutral zone eventually gets it to Donnelly, who takes it. Great move up there and a shot save off the chest of Broussard. And he's unable to corral that rebound. So the Crusaders take it here. Is Johnson, excuse me, that would be Eric Langley. He backhands it around the goal. And now Donnelly has this one, but just chips it in deep. So coming in on the forecheck is Morissette. He gets a weak body check there. So the Crusaders still control here. And a tripping call coming against the Lancers. I believe that's Pat Maloney. He tripped Zach Pelletier. So the Crusaders are going on the early power play here with 11:17 to go. Maloney, 2 minutes for tripping. And we'll see, as I mentioned, it was, I believe, the 28 penalty minutes here at home. We can now make it 30 as the Lancers are on the penalty kill early, and hopefully they can get some momentum here as they try to kill it while the Crusaders are looking for the early lead. And Muldoon wins the faceoff here, giving it to Austin, and now McKenzie here is not quite able to get to it, but Nyman does. He gives it up to Jacob Poitras, and a shot here by Brandon Johnson blocked right in front. Back to Johnson, and a great block there by Muldoon as he hustles to the puck and chips it all the way down behind the goal line. So here comes McKenzie here on the shorthanded forecheck, a brief one. And now the Crusaders momentarily have it. Did Zach Pelletier, and he gave it up. So now the Crusaders here are having trouble getting into the Lancer zone, but now Poitras cross ice to Gendron, and he spins around and looks for options. He gives it to Pelletier, and just keeping that one on the blue line. So this one is onside, giving it to Johnson, who chips it cross corner. And this one might be a breakaway. Yes, it is. Mike McKenzie, although coming back for defense, and a shot here and a save by Johnson. Coming back on defense, I believe, was Zach Pelletier, but I'm not quite sure on that. Might have been Johnson. I can't give you a definitive name, but nonetheless, a shot on goal on the penalty kill. And Donnelly here wins the face-off, and they get control here. Does Terrio as he chips this one all the way down to kill some more time with 45 seconds to go on the tripping penalty against Pat Maloney. And this one is momentarily delayed offside as great play there by Pelletier as he comes up ice, and no penalty upcoming. He might have been tripped there, but arms stay down. Here comes Donnelly here on the shorthanded forecheck as he gives it to Pat Murphy, and Murphy looking for options, and he centers it here. Shot save by Broussard. Wow, what a chance there for the Lancers. Is Donnelly taking that shot right down the slot? And now there's 10 seconds to go. One more rush maybe for the Crusaders as chipping it in deep was Ryan Cardro, but the Lancers with ease control here and kill off the remaining time of the power play, as this one here might have gone wide, but Broussard has taken none chances whatsoever. And he is credited with a huge save here on the penalty, or excuse me, on the power play for the Crusaders as he stays square to the shot off of Donnelly's bid. There's a one-time bid too. Donnelly took no time there. He just put it on goal immediately, as this one here is offside with Langley taking the shot that went wide anyway. Now 9:05 to go here in the opening period. Still scoreless here. And this one is a scramble off the face-off, but Tuckalo there eventually gained possession and forced the Crusaders deep as Ryan Cardro chips it all the way around the boards. And now the Lancers are here on the forecheck again. Here's Muldoon. Excuse me, that's Tuckalo. He made a stick check there, unable to possess the puck, though. And now the Crusaders have it here. Does Eric Langley, but a great glove down there by Austin to prevent a rush upcoming for the Crusaders. And this one is another delayed offside, and this one is can of corn for Broussard, but eventually gives it up And now Lancers have this one here as Terrio is almost put into the Crusader bench. And here is Ryan Cardro again putting it wide. And now Austin here will just swat it aside and give up possession to Johnson, but now he gives it up to the Lancers in Terrio. And Terrio puts it around the boards, gets it out. And here is Mike McKenzie looking for options, and he gives it up to Brendan Johnson here on the breakaway shot, just goes wide. What a chance there for the Crusaders. Chance for chance, they're almost trading, as this shot here taken by Poitras, an easy one for Baldwin to the pads. Wow, 2 great chances early here in the first period for both Donnelly and Johnson. So now a face-off in the Lancer zone as Morissette won it, but gave it to the Crusaders, who are now behind the goal line here. And Morissette almost gets it out. And a shot here is wide, almost like a pass, to say the least. I wouldn't even consider that a shot. So now Eric Langley here gives it up to Maloney as a great stick check there by Langley. Coming up ice now is Zach Pelletier. He gets behind the defense, and what a great play there in front by Morissette, coming all the way back to clear that one in the blue paint. And here comes Maloney again. Gets by the defender on the goal line, and now he's a backhand looking for the shot, and it's a weak one there, so Broussard will cover. Just more than halfway through this opening period with now 7:19 to go. Tuckalo wins the face-off to Murphy, who gives it to Austin, and he comes on in. The goal and a backhand shot just wide of the goal. Oh, that was inches. Just inches wide of the Lancers getting a lead. And he takes out his frustration on a Crusader, that being Zach Pelletier on the near end boards. Wow, 2 close chances. One by Austin with a great move at the blue line to get in on goal. And one for Donnelly. And here comes Colby Austin as he just gets this one in deep over the bar. And now the Crusaders control this one here. Coming up ice is Cardro. And he wraps this one around the boards. And taking this one now is Jared Chandonet. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. And centering attempt here is away by Tuckalo. And a shot here is deflected in front. It hit the protective netting, I'm assuming. Yes, it did. And the officials did not see that right away. So a delayed whistle and a face-off to result. Although it's scoreless, I will say this is an eventful game. Probably one of the most interesting ones here, maybe besides the season and home opener against St. Thomas. But I'll tell you, this is a great game for both sides, for both teams. Chances going both ways offensively. And taking this one up ice is McKenzie. Tried to get it to Muldoon. Might have been an odd man rush had he corralled it. But he, with his hard work, he creates trouble behind the goal line, and he still is on the forecheck. He stick checks it to McKenzie, back to Muldoon, and he backhands this one. And excuse me, that's not McKenzie, that's Pat Murphy. And now the Crusaders control here. Does Justin Cope-Rider, I believe that's how, or Coop-Rider, that's how you say his last name. As this one here is taken by Merrill Nyman as he loses possession as the puck was on edge. Lost it to Shane Donnet. And this one here is not cleared, but is in possession of the Lancers. And this one is delayed high stick, but then the Crusaders touched it, so that is waved off. And now Nyman cups up ice, and he reels this one in behind the goal line with now 5:12 to go here in the first period. And a cross-ice pass here all the way intended for Johnson as he chips it in deep. And Jacob Perillo now tried to get it to Anthony Federico. And a shot here, save by Baldwin on the doorstep. Oh, that was a close one. He was ready for that. As I look down at my roster here to see who number 6 was, I missed the progression of that sequence for the Crusaders. And now they still control here. do the Crusaders. And a shot here taken by, rebound, score! Shot taken by Johnson. Rebound was put in by, I believe that was Zach Pelletier, and the Crusaders have the early 1-0 lead off of the rebound. And sloppy play in the Lancer defensive zone cost them a goal as they turned it over twice, maybe 3 times, as they couldn't get it out. And the Lancers now put themselves in the hole while the Crusaders are up top by 1. And here's Austin here, taking it, chipping it all the way in the neutral zone. Trying to glove that was Johnson, but the 2-on-2 here. Shane White takes a shot as it is hit one of the legs in front, goes wide. And possible chance there, but Colby Austin is on the spot, but he gives it away to Eric Langley as he makes a great move going around one of the Lancer defensemen, but unable to maintain possession. Now 4 minutes exactly to go here in the first, and the Crusaders have a 1-0 lead. And here's Jared Tuckalo, and somehow Terrio lands up on his rear end. I think he got a good check by one of the Crusaders forwards, as this one is icing against the Lancers now. The score is almost deceiving, as I would say that the Lancers have had most of possession, most of the play in the Crusaders zone, but obviously it's not how you do it, it's how many go in. As here's Mike McKenzie up in the attacking zone. A great move around there, but unable to get the shot off. So now Danny Bears will take this one here. And right at the blue line, the Crusaders grab it. And this one is chipped in by the Lancers, but now the Crusaders again control. But a steal in here by McKenzie, and a shot there is gloved by Broussard. That one might have knuckled in. Very little velocity on that one, but of course you don't want to take any chances as a goaltender, so Johnson covers. Now 3:14 to go with an attacking zone faceoff for the Lancers. And Morissette to take it against Johnson. And Morissette wins it, but he wins it so good it goes all the way behind the goal line of the Lancers before anybody touches it. So Austin will eventually not able to get this one in. Here comes Johnson again on goal. Shot, shoulder save, rebound. Unable to go wide as a slap shot here. Another save. Shot taken by Langley with the pad save by Baldwin. Chaos in the Lancer defensive zone. So they're not able to get this one out. And when they don't, the Crusaders make them pay. 2 shots on goal. Quick ones right there by Memorial. As this one here, chasing it is Maloney against, well, he wins it anyway. Now backhand shot goes just wide, and a delayed penalty coming up against the Crusaders. And now Austin has this one here, and a shot padded away by Broussard. And 6-on-5. Yes, they pulled the goaltender, so 6-on-5 here until the Crusaders control unless a goal is scored, as this one is touched by Pelletier. And the Lancers will go on their first power play opportunity of the game as Eric Langley, I want to know who is going to the box for the Crusaders. A little bit of cross-check is the call, but I don't see, oh, there he is. He went to the bench, and he is now taken back to the penalty box. And that is Jacob Poitras. He goes to the box. 2 minutes for cross-checking, and the Lancers will have their first power play opportunity, as I mentioned, with 2:10 to go. So given that they don't score, the penalty or the power play will expire as the period does, as Danny Bears cross ice to Nyman. A shot here is corralled by Broussard, and he covers it. So a face-off is taken by Muldoon, and he wins it. And now McKenzie has it here, top of the circle. A shot here goes wide. So here's Muldoon here on the corner boards as he gets checked greatly there by Jake Gendron. And a center gets up here, rebound, score! Troy Muldoon on the backside had a wide open net, and the Lancers tie it 1-1. Only 25 seconds into the power play, and the Lancers are on the board, and they have drawn even. Muldoon with the goal. And I can't tell you who the assists were from, but my guess would have been McKenzie as he wheeled it in front. And somebody had an initial shot, but on the backside there was Muldoon, and he backhanded that one home. It was a bad angle, but he still had the open net. Obviously, that is a goal that you want to make, as Maloney got a great check there coming up in the blue line by taking that check was Justin Coprider. As Maloney steps up there and makes a huge check, as we are now 1:10 away from the first intermission here, as the Crusaders are trying to get some attacking zone time here, and keeping that one onside was Ryan Cardro, just keeping that one inside the blue line. And Pat Maloney unable to get this one out, gave it away to Jared Chandanet. And Colby Austin almost created an icing, but that one was on goal. And he'll get the shot on goal credit there. Now 37 seconds to go. And Austin here to take it, as the puck is on edge, and he wheels it all the way down and just wide, and this one will go for icing with now 26.7 seconds to go in the first, and the Lancers are looking to not let up a late goal so they can go into the dressing room tied at 1. So instead of Morissette and Johnson, it's Muldoon and Johnson wins this one. And a shot there taken by Langley is blocked away off the one of the Lancers. Likes a deflected shot here. Just goes wide on the near side of Baldwin's post. And this one is still in the Lancer zone, but Nyman should be able to get it out. Well, they'll just bleed the clock as he goes around the boards. And Danny Bears here will just bleed the clock, as we are now 15 minutes into this game. And the Lancers and the Crusaders are dead even at 1 after 1. And now the Lancers and the Crusaders head to their respective dressing rooms. And goals scored, one of them by Muldoon for the Lancers. That one came after, I believe that was Zach Pelletier. Yes, Zach Pelletier got the first goal of the game for the Crusaders, but this game is tied, and obviously this is anybody's game. It's been relatively even throughout this first 15 minutes, and obviously we can assume that this is going to be a dandy finishing the last 30 minutes. My name is Jake Ziegler. You are listening to Lancer Hockey, and we will be back for second period action between the Lancers and the Crusaders. Welcome back for second period action between the Lancers and the Crusaders. We are deadlocked at 1. And looking at the remaining Lancers schedule, after tonight they stay home. This is the beginning of a 3-game homestand for the Lancers. Today they play the Crusaders. And then their next game is against their rival, the Pinkerton Astros. That is scheduled for next Wednesday, because all of their games are on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And then the next game after that, after Pinkerton, will be on the 20th, that next Saturday, where they will face the Nashua South Purple Panthers. And they are on the low side, of course, in the Division I standings, so not to take anything for granted. But after tonight, I would expect 2 wins. As a Lancer fan, I would expect 2 wins if they don't win tonight against the Crusaders. But the Astros and the Panthers are having a difficult time getting on the winning side of things. And then after that, the Lancers have their hardest game of the season second to last against the Bulldogs. And then following that are the Salem Blue Devils again, and they've played them. At this point, they would have played them, yes, exactly a week ago. And they ended up winning that game, obviously 2-0. But that's how they close the season here. Out of the next 5 games here for the Lancers, 4 of them are at home, and 1 of them are on the road. That one being against the Bulldogs, because obviously we have a video on our channel that has the Bulldog game here at the Ice Center. So they will play them again, but this time they'll play them on their ice. And the officials are ready, and Zamboni has covered the ice, but no teams are to be spotted. And so we wait for the teams to take the ice as we get ready for second period action. And I should also mention that after tonight, the Lancers have 3 more home games, and Adam will not be able to attend the last one against this. It'll also be senior night against the Salem Blue Devils, so he will not be able to attend that one. Obviously, he's not in attendance tonight, so hopefully he will join me in his probable last 2 games behind the microphone as a Lancer hockey broadcaster against the Astros and or the Nashua South Purple Panthers. I'm hoping that he's able to, because he told me most likely this is his last season as a Lancer hockey announcer. And I absolutely love it when I have somebody alongside me to share the microphone and to share all the thoughts and opinions about hockey, as it's probably one of the most, iconic sports maybe. I wouldn't say in American history, because obviously baseball is our pastime. Football is obviously extremely popular. Hockey is obviously played mostly in Canada and Russia. And as soon as we discovered it in the United States, we created several leagues and created several rinks and arenas so that we could bring the game here. So I'm hoping Adam will join me, but we'll see. At the most, he'll be here for those 2 games against the Astros and Panthers. However, that is to be determined. And we get ready for a puck drop here in the second period. Morissette again against Johnson. And Morissette wins it to Nyman here as he crosses the red line here, but a great back check by Zach Pelletier as he comes up ice, possibly a 2-on-1. And he cross-ice pass here, save with the stick by Baldwin. Shot take there by Poitras. And a 2-on-1 break there. It's Poitras with the shot, but a stick save by Baldwin. Right off the bat, first 10 seconds into this one, the Crusaders get a scoring bid. And Baldwin comes up huge with the stick. And here's Merrill Nyman on the far side boards, and he chips it in deep, but he stays at the blue line looking for the puck as he gets it here. And the Crusaders give it up to Nyman again as the shot here is blocked in front, unable to get it on goal. Was Nyman. And now Johnson takes it here, but a great glove by Danny Bear's delayed penalty here against the Crusaders. And a shot here just wide by McKenzie. And a 6-on-5 looking to develop for the Lancers, and they do get it. Baldwin gets to the bench, so now it's a 6-on-5, but the Crusaders touch the puck. Possession is established, and another tripping penalty against the Crusaders. This time it will go against Brendan Johnson. I believe so, as he is circling the penalty box. Yes, it is against Brendan Johnson. I mentioned his name several times tonight. He is playing in his last year as a senior, and he's made a lot of plays here in the opening period. It's a shot here right off the face-off taken by McKenzie, and right on the spot there was Brassard. And as I mentioned, Johnson has been the heavy-duty worker many times, or many occasions for the Crusaders. It's a shot here taken by Mynan as it gets out to the neutral zone. So Terrio here gives it to Muldoon. And now Nyman cross ice to Patrick Murphy, and now Muldoon will be in on the forecheck against Jake Gendron. And now the Crusaders here able to get it out with now 125 to go on the power play. And a great win there by Zach Pelletier on the penalty kill as he is looking to just waste time. It gets the puck checked off very nicely there by Terrio. And now Gendron here again just scales it down ice, and Nyman there gloved it to prevent it going the whole distance. And he comes up ice and gets around. That would be Pelletier, and he hits the brakes, looks for options down here as he gives it to Donnelly to Nyman, and he tried a cross-ice pass, but that was sticked aside nicely by Pelletier as this one is now in the Lancer zone. Donnelly gives it away, but then Muldoon took the gift from the Crusaders. As a great move there right between the legs. Now behind the goal line is Morissette back to Maloney. Maloney gives it to Nyman on the far side of the blue line as a wrist shot here goes wide. And now here's Terrio. Terrio gives it to Maloney as a shot here is saved. I believe might have been blocked in front, but nonetheless traffic right in front of Brassard as here comes Pelletier. And he shoves his way past Nyman to get to the puck. And he still has it here. It's 4-on-1, and he's crossing a lot of trouble back there as passes it to, I believe that was Pelletier. No, I can't tell you right now, but I'll tell you that the Crusaders now have the possession here as another shot taken there by Johnson as he leaves the penalty box back to, as we get back to even strength here. And the Lancers are offsides as Maloney jumped the blue line. And so a neutral zone face-off will take place on the far side, where it is won by the Crusaders. And a great play there by Parilla to prevent a odd man rush at the red line. And now here is Federico, who just gets it across the blue line and of the Crusaders as they gain possession back to Parilla. And Shane White here just gets a stick on it, where now the Crusaders control here. And a very weak pass right across the middle of the ice, where now the Lancers control here. And Shane White will ice it for the Lancers, with now 10:49 to go in the second period, and it is still deadlocked even at 1. And here is a face-off between Muldoon and Johnson, and Muldoon wins it, where Nyman gives it up to Pelletier as he takes this one here from the far corner at top of the blue line back to Pelletier. At top of the blue line would be Gendron, and Gendron cross ice to Langley. A shot here might have got a piece of the shoulder of Baldwin, but went over the bar, and that one is safe as here comes McKenzie up ice, and a shot here, score! Right in front. I believe that might have been Brian Murphy in front, but McKenzie set it up in front to the cross of the ice in the blue paint, and the Lancers take the lead. Actually, I don't think it was Brian Murphy. He's not even on the ice. It could have been Merrill Nyman in front. But nonetheless, the Lancers are up by 1 as they take the lead here after being down by 1. Early stages here of the second period. Great cross-ice pass there by McKenzie to, I believe that might have been Nyman, on the far side of the Crusader cage. And now the Lancers have the lead for the first time tonight. As coming up ice is now Morissette down the middle of the zone, and he takes a skid there as the puck went off of Donnelly's skate. And Donnelly there unable to keep it in. So here is Nyman with great effort. Now here comes Donnelly at the shot. He scores! score. Donnelly, 2 goals in 20 seconds for the Lancers, and they are up by 2 with insurance. Great shot there by Donnelly, far side, just above the pad to take a 2-goal lead over the Crusaders, who are stunned. Wow. The Lancers with 2 quick goals. I'm not certain that it was 20 seconds apart, but pretty close to that, as they strike quick. As this one goes into the Lancer bench, and a neutral zone face-off will result. Actually, it's going to be a center ice face-off. And the Lancers now have a 2-goal lead. Again, in the early stages here of the second, and they're looking to pile it on as the Crusaders are looking to find an answer, as they have not scored since, I believe it might have been 5 or 6 minutes into the first period. It's been a little while since they have been on the scoreboard, or put something on the scoreboard, I should say. But nonetheless, the Lancers have a 2-goal lead with now 9:25 to go in this second period. And the Crusaders here, shot there taken by Cardro, and Baldwin sticks that one aside. And the Crusaders still have it here, as a shot there was taken by Jake Gendron, but it got deflected, and this one will go for icing. And both teams get a line change, and now with fresh legs on the ice, we will take this face-off, and this one will be between Muldoon and, hey, look again, it's Johnson for the Crusaders. He's taking the majority of the face-off. Shot here off the outside of the post. Although Baldwin sealed that one, he did not look surprised by that. As this one here is cross ice, but behind the blue line. As the Crusaders are not able to keep that one in, and so all the way around the ice on the forecheck here is Jake Poitras. Actually, that's Jacob. There's a Jake and a Jacob, so I'll clarify those two. And now on the blue line here is Gendron, and a shot here off the outside of the goal. And the Crusaders are looking for a response here, as they still have possession. And giving that one up was Poitras to Muldoon, and now Muldoon just gives this one up to the Crusaders in Gendron, and this one is deflected out of play into the stands. And this one will be a attacking zone faceoff for the Crusaders, where they trail the Lancers 3-1. Johnson again wins it clean. Won it clean to Langley, as a shot here was deflected wide, and now the Crusaders here still have it, looking for an answer to the Lancers' 2 quick goals. And a chance here got deflected in front. 2 great blocks there by Nyman. And here comes Morissette on the forecheck. And this is going to be an obvious penalty. His stick got caught under the skates of one of the Crusader defensemen. And now the Lancers will go to the box for the second time tonight. 2 minutes, Morissette for tripping. And the Lancers are going to need a good penalty kill here if they want to keep their insurance in their 2-goal lead, with now 7:56 to go in this second period. And Muldoon here unable to win the faceoff, so Cardroad will give it to Pelletier. And a great block there by Muldoon, as he is shaken up there. Got one out off the leg, and he is hobbled over. And here's a shot here taken by Cardro, and he scores! Top corner, might have been deflected in front, but the Crusaders got what they were looking for, and the lead is cut in half. It is now 3-2. Lancers still lead with 7:38 to go in this second period, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Crusaders, a goal on the power play, and they now just trail by 1. If Cardro is not credited with that goal, it might have been one of the Crusaders in front, or it just was deflected off of a Lancer defenseman, but which would, in that case, would be given to Cardro. But nonetheless, that was put in the top corner, and great accuracy was displayed there by the Cardro and the Crusaders, as Lancers here on the near side boards. They are able to win the puck, and momentarily it was Morissette, and he loses an edge. But coming in deep was Terrio, and then Maloney took a shot that went wide of the crossbar, so now the Lancers will chip this one in deep. And here comes Donnelly, but he's unable to keep it in. But a great play there by Maloney as he gives it to Tucklow, and Tucklow gives it to Maloney as he tried a centering pass off the outside of the cage. And so the Crusaders will ice this one. Does Jacob Poitras, as the attack was too much for the Crusaders. They just need a change, and they need a stoppage. And 6:37 is shown on the scoreboard clock here for the second period. As Tucklow wins this faceoff to Shane White as he loses an edge. And a pretty funny moment there, as that might be on the bloopers of the season. And now Nyman here around the boards to Murphy. Murphy indirect pass to Tucklow, and Tucklow is now in on the forecheck behind the goal line as he loses an edge. But a centering pass here was blocked in front, and I hate to say this, but that was a great dive in front of the shot. You score! That might have been Brian Murphy. I can't see the number from here. Either him or, yeah, I think that's Brian Murphy. He's going to get the goal as a shot. Well, in on Broussard. It might have been off the post. It just trickled across the goal line. And the Lancers regain their 2-goal lead here with 6:06 to go. And they get their insurance back. And I was commenting on, I think it was Langley, Eric Langley. He looked like he was trying to dive and look for a penalty call, but none coming. And I mean, that was almost in slow motion, the dive. But again, I hate to criticize players for anything of such. It was just pretty obvious from my perspective. And now Danny Bears here gives it to, I believe that, yeah, it is Pat Murphy, and he gives it to the speedy Mikey McKenzie up ice, and he's looking for the cross-ice pass, but he has no angle there, so he gives it to Muldoon below the goal line, and Muldoon is looking for a pass here, and a shot there taken by McKenzie is blocked, and now the rebound off of the block goes wide. And now the Lancers here are unable to keep this one in, and this one will not go for icing. Icing is waved off, so Danny Bears here is being chased by Chandonnet. And a backhand cross-ice pass to Murphy. And Murphy is looking to get possession, and he does. Great battle win there. Shot save off the pad. And the Crusaders are scrambling, looking to get this one out. And they do. And now Danny Bears gives it up to Poitras just for the moment as he chips this one in deep. And a funny bounce off the boards. And now this is Donnelly coming up ice. Donnelly looking for options as he, oh, what a great play there by Pelletier as he comes up ice and saved what could have been an odd man rush. A shot here goes wide, rebound as somebody lost their stick, and the shot here goes over the bars. You can hear that cling against the stanchions. And now the Crusaders here are looking for yet another answer as Donnelly controls here with puck check there by Pelletier. Might have been a high stick, but none coming, and he comes in on goal. Shot here wide of the goal over the bar, and it could be an odd man rush at the Lancers hurry. And here comes Maloney in on the forecheck, and a great back check there by Langley. And now here comes Donnelly. It was a backhand shot there, deflected over the bars. We're under 4 minutes to go here in the second period as Austin chips this one cross corner. And now coming up ice is Langley. Langley rounds this one around the boards. And somebody lost the mouth guard on the near side boards. Something, obviously, I'm the only one that probably noticed that. But hey, what can I say? I noticed the little things as Austin chips this one in deep. And Brian Murphy here on the forecheck, and he creates a little bit of trouble, and I think he's going to be called for hooking here. And as we get a stoppage here, yes, it is hooking against the Lancers. That's going to be against Brian Murphy, the junior, and he will go to the box for 2 minutes. And this is the third penalty against the Lancers. And, of course, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, with 28 penalty minutes at home here, the Lancers have now 6 penalty minutes in this game as Brian Murphy heads to the box for the Lancers, and they are on the penalty kill once again. The Crusaders are looking for a response, down 2. And Johnson wins the face-off here for the Crusaders, and now they look for a shot here, taken by Pelletier just wide of the goal. And now still taken here. Johnson cross ice to Pelletier. Pelletier down below the goal line. A shot there, take a rebound, score! I believe that was Cardrow again in front. The rebound off of Baldwin's pad, and it is 4-3. What an incredible game we have here in Salem, New Hampshire at the Ice Center. Wow, 4-3, back and forth we go. The momentum swifts each way. Only 18 seconds into that power play, and the Crusaders are within 1 again. And off the face-off here, the Crusaders control a possible odd man rush here. Coming up ice is Johnson, drops it off to Poitras, and it is corralled here by Baldwin in the chest with now 2:45 to go here in the second. Wow, this is, I initially compared it to the St. Thomas home opener game where the Lancers came back from 3-1 after 2, but this game by far exceeds the entertainment level that we all expect here in high school hockey. Wow, it's just back and forth, 2 evenly matched teams, very competitive, and the referees obviously aren't making a big influence in this one. It is called very even, very fairly, and the penalties are going both ways. So this is a great game. As a backhand shot there taken by Johnson just wide. Oh, the Lancers are ready to give up their lead, but not quite yet. They are on the verge of it. And here comes Maloney here on the forecheck as he wins the puck here, and he's looking for options, and the center pass here, score! Donnelly again, and the Lancers have a 2-goal lead once again, 5-3. Can you say back and forth? Man, it's been that way all night long here at the Ice Center. And a great play by Maloney down low below the goal line to win the puck. Gives it to Donnelly in front, and he buries it home. And I think that might have been his second goal of the night. I'm not exactly sure if it might have been Donnelly's second goal, but nonetheless, the Lancers have a 2-goal lead, and just as I said they were ready to give up the lead, they do not, as this one here is a really funny bounce off the stanchions, but I was ready to say the Lancers are ready to give up their lead because they looked like they were scrambling, and a shot here, rebound, right in the crease, and they're unable to bury it home as the Crusaders are scrambling. And this one here is taken by Terrio with pressure, but he gets it to McKenzie, a possible odd man rush here, but coming back are the Crusaders as this one here is paddled down by Brassard, and he covers. 1:20 to go. And I'll go back to the thought. I already know I went back to it, but the Lancers were on the verge of making this a 4-4 game. Meanwhile, they went down at the other end of the ice, does Pat Maloney, and he made a great play behind the goal line on the forecheck, and just when it looks like it's about to be tied, it's a 1-goal swing going the other way. And another lead change here at the Ice Center between these two teams. Incidental collision there with Morissette. Possible odd-man rush, 3-on-1 for the Crusaders. Shot here taken by Pelletier off the roof of the net. Oh, it was close. Really close off the shot. Taken by Pelletier off the arm of Baldwin, and he does enough to keep it out. And we are under a minute to go, 43 seconds in this second period as this one is taken by the Crusaders. And here's Pelletier again, and he's onside, looking for a shot there, but a great back check by Maloney. He is all over the ice in this period. And now Nyman gloves it down here, and a great move there around Johnson, who is probably gassed at this point. It's been a long shift for him. And here is Nyman here with 14 seconds to go. One more rush here for the Lancers. Maybe not, as Muldoon here gives up possession behind the attacking goal line. And Crusaders clear it one more time, and that will do it. The second period comes to a close. A very entertaining second period, to say the least, where the Lancers go into the dressing room with 15 minutes to go as they lead the Crusaders by a score of 5-3, and several lead changes here. Momentum, and the ice is tilting back and forth, and who knows which way it was going to go. Who knows which team was going to fight back and whose team was going to get the lucky bounce, but nonetheless, the Lancers have fought, and not to say that the Crusaders didn't. It's just they were on the wrong end of a couple of bounces and on the wrong end of a couple of decisions in their defensive zone. And obviously now the Crusaders are looking to mount a comeback, down 2 with probably 15 minutes to go, but it could be more than that if overtime is necessary. But obviously the Lancers are not looking for that to happen. And the Crusaders are looking, as I said, to get a comeback. We are 15 minutes away here from a third Lancer victory. My name is Jake Ziegler, and we will see you back here for third period action between the Lancers and the Crusaders, where the Lancers lead 5-3. And after I take a long, deep breath, we are back for third period action between the Lancers and the Crusaders, where the Lancers lead 5-3, as that second period was well entertaining with 6 goals. And those 6 goals were scored by, for the Crusaders, it was Zach Pelletier, and it was Ryan Cardro, I believe. He got 2, unless it was deflected for Cardro's goals. If they were deflected in front, I will be able to see that on the film, but as of now, I will give him credit for those 2. And for the Lancers, their 5 goals include 2 from Donnelly, 1 from Muldoon, 1 from Murphy, and 1 from Nyman. That is as accurate as I can get with my audience here, because I cannot tell you much more than that from what I saw on the ice in the second period. But wow, I had to drink a lot of water to get my hydration back and get my throat nice and moist so that I can talk without a dry throat. And yet again, the officials and coaches are on the ice ready for third period, but the teams await their entrances. And once again, I will look back to the standings for both teams and see what playoff implications, or at least playoff standings for the visiting Crusaders. As I mentioned, they are ranked 7th, and chasing them are the Hanover Marauders, the Londonderry Lancers, the Manchester Central Little Green, the St. Thomas Saints. I got their team name back. I had to look that up again, so they are the Saints. And Salem Blue Devils, and then from there on out, it looks like Pinkerton on down will not make the playoffs, but hey, there's still 5 games to go for most of these teams. So we'll see. The Memorial Crusaders will most likely get in as long as they win at least 2 of their next 4 games. Yes, 2 out of the next 3 games, because they played 14 games as of now. After tonight, it'll be 15, and then they'll have 3 games left. So maybe as long as they win at least 2 of those, one will be dicey if they end up losing tonight's. But we'll see. It's still 15 minutes to go in a 2-goal game. While the Lancers, their playoff standings, they are 9th. And chasing them, obviously, are the Central Little Green, the St. Thomas Saints, and the Salem Blue Devils, all those teams I've mentioned before. So both of those set of teams are chasing the Lancers and the Crusaders as they are looking for playoff berths. Obviously, the Crusaders are in better position as they've already played 14 of their 18 games at 8-6, while the Lancers have played 13 of their 18 games at 6-7. And we are now ready for third period action of this entertaining, to say the least, hockey game. And the Lancers are looking to make it 3 in a row, while the Crusaders are looking to make it 4 out of their last 5 on the victorious side of things as we are underway here at the Ice Center. And this one here is taken by Muldoon. Right out in front. Shot here taken by, I believe that was McKenzie, but keeping the pad down was Brassard, as McKenzie went around the goal looking for an angle, but Brassard didn't stay square, but he got enough of the shot to keep it out. And I will keep my focus now on the hockey game and not mention many other topics, as play is progressing very quickly. And if I look away for a second, I miss a whole play, and that could be the difference between a goal and not a goal, or a penalty and not a penalty, or a scoring opportunity and not a scoring opportunity, etc., etc. So my eyes are glued on this hockey rink as the shot here is taken by Terrio off the faceoff, is patted aside by Brassard, and a shot here taken, or at least an attempted shot by Austin, is blocked away. So now the Crusaders will control. And scaling this one all the way down ice is Gendron, just wide of Baldwin's right. And icing is called against Memorial. In the last 2 periods, 2 scoring opportunities right off the bat, both of them by the Lancers, as the head coach Dan Legros is probably looking for a quick start, as Pelletier here is taken down by Bears behind the goal line. This shot was taken by Langley and is blocked in front by, I believe, his own teammate. And breaking his stick on the far side of the ice was Jacob Poitras, and he throws it with frustration as the Crusaders control here from the blue line across ice. It might have been a pass or a shot, but that one was taken by Cardro, and then another shot taken by Langley. Both shots went wide, and now the Crusaders control behind their goal line. Does Cardro. And he gives it to Donnelly right in front, but he's unable to corral it right away, but he keeps it onside. And this one here is in the neutral zone, and this one is a delayed offside against the Lancers. And a neutral zone face-off will occur near right in front of the Memorial bench. And the Crusaders win it. And Gendron backhands it around his defensive zone. And the Crusaders are trying to win this puck battle, as a lofting shot there by Austin is corralled by Brassard, and he will cover and hold. 1:57 into this third period. And Tuckalo here loses the face-off against Ryan Sullivan. Haven't mentioned his name at all tonight. Ryan Sullivan with the face-off win, and now the Crusaders here are looking for possession, and Sullivan almost was able to corral it there, but instead Shane White snags it from him, and Brian Murphy tried to get it to Tuckalo, and he's unable to, but now Tuckalo has it here, and a centering pass just goes wide of Murphy. And now taking this one up ice are the Crusaders, but checked off the puck nicely there by Bears. And here comes Shane White as a shot here wide of the glove side of Brassard. And this puck is given up to Merrill Nyman in the neutral zone, where he just spanks it in on Brassard. And now This one is momentarily a delayed offside, but now the Crusaders control here, and Cardro here backhands it, almost gave it away to Murphy, and Murphy here unable to check it away from the Crusaders. So Johnson here under some pressure gives it up to one of his teammates behind the goal line, and again delayed offside. He'll tag up to the Lancers, and the Crusaders are unable to get across the Lancer blue line. So now the Lancers here, cross ice pass on a great check there, on the far side of the ice by Jake Gendron. He got one of the Lancers off the puck, but nonetheless, the Lancers, at least they controlled here for a second, as having trouble there was Cardro. And a lot of possession going both ways. Nothing really being established for either team. And now the Crusaders here will ice it, yes. Now 10:56 to go in this rather uneventful third period, to say the least, although I will not criticize this third period, as the second period obviously was quite a scene, something you would want to be here to see, especially when it's referring to high school hockey. I mean, wow, it was definitely one of the best periods I've ever announced, as Morissette takes it here on the far side, and he's intended pass to Bears crosses the blue line, so Bears will backhand it to Donnelly as he enters the Crusader zone, and this one here is whacked away by Langley, and that goes in on goal where Broussard covers. And now the Lancers here looking for a face-off win, and Morissette is unable to do that. So the Crusaders here chip it all the way down ice. Jake Genrin puts this one on Baldwin, and he covers. And both teams get a line change with some fresh legs on the ice for this face-off on Baldwin's left. And it will be between Muldoon and Johnson, and Muldoon wins it. And now McKenzie here unable to corral it, but a shot here right in front deflected by Poitras. And excuse me, I will gather myself here. Baldwin was able to get in front and keep the pads down and stayed square to that shot, as Poitras was left all alone in front. And this one I thought crossed the blue line, but I guess not. So the Crusaders here will take advantage of that, and this shot here, or at least an intended shot there, just in front by Langley, as Baldwin sticks it aside, and this one cross ice pass to nobody in the particular. So McKenzie goes right around, comes up ice, down and below the goal line. A shot here, glove rebound, blocked in front by Pelletier. He just saved the goal. Wow, he came across the blue paint and might have got it with his leg. What a great save there by Pelletier, as he just saved the goal for his squad, and the Lancers still only lead by 2, as the Lancers here are looking for a 3-goal lead, which would make it a deeper hole for the Crusaders to climb up out of, but that's not the case here, as Cardro here gets a shot off and sticked aside by Baldwin, and now it's Ryan Sullivan, I believe, below the goal line, as he is pit pocket there by Nyman, and Murphy here will control with plenty of time as he gives it to Tuckalo, and Shane White here, and this one's going to be icing on the Lancers. Very unexpected icing, as I thought the puck was thrown in while crossing a red line, but apparently not. So with 8:52 to go in this third period, the Lancers lead the Crusaders 5-3, and they are looking to hold on to that lead, while the Crusaders are trying to make a comeback, as they've been doing all game long, as they have never led tonight. The Lancers have led throughout this game, and have never given up a lead. And here comes Morissette up the ice, and a backhand to nobody because nobody was in the slot. So Maloney here will take it, and it hits off the glove of Brassard. But giving it up to Morissette might have been Carger, I believe, behind the goal line. And so Austin here takes this shot, deflected wide. And so here's Maloney and Morissette on the forecheck, but Morissette gives it up to Gendron. And Gendron here is not able to actually clear the zone momentarily, but here comes the Crusaders. Here comes Gendron. As this shot here, ooh, that was a sneaky shot. That one went just wide. Oh, my goodness. Baldwin is playing that very dangerously. As coming up ice is Maloney. Possible 2-on-1. Maloney coming out in. Shot, score! That's Maloney, second of the night. And the Lancers have a 3-goal lead with 7:50 to go. Just when you think Baldwin is playing his position too carelessly, the Lancers capitalize and have a 3-goal lead for the first time tonight, as they're looking to close this one away. And Brassard left his blocker side wide open when Maloney came on in goal, and he released that shot maybe from the bottom of the circle, and it was just a very unfortunate sequence of events for the Crusaders, as they were, although it was not too much reaction generated on the ice, that shot by one of the Crusaders on the near side boards, on the near side post of Baldwin, went just wide. And I mean just wide. And you'll see it on the film if you look back at it again. And the Lancers take advantage of a close opportunity, as the Crusaders here don't ice it as it is waved off. So Federico here will give it to Parilla behind the Lancer goal line, and he hits the edge, but gives it up to Cronin. Rebound! No. Shot taken by Poitras, and a pickpocket there by Johnson. There was no rebound on that. Take that back, but a shot there by Poitras right in front as Parilla gave it up to Johnson. And wow, the Lancers are living life on the edge, to say the least. Although they are up by 3, this could be a completely different ball game if all the bounces go the Crusaders' way, but it has not tonight. They have gone the Lancers' way, and I'm sure the entire Lancer squad is happy about that, because they might not have been on the lucky side of things in their past losses, especially when it was a 1-goal game, or their overtime loss against Bishop Brady, their only overtime loss this season. But they're getting the bounces their way, and they're definitely taking advantage of very close opportunities by the Crusaders. And here comes Donnelly, and the shot here goes over the bar as it rides the dasher. And Maloney's able to keep it. Oh, what a great play there by Morissette, but it gets called back for a high stick. And wow, I will tell you, that was one of the greatest traps I've ever seen in person by any hockey player on any level. That puck was close to the shoulder height, and Morissette just knocks it down carelessly like it was just, wow. I don't know how to describe it. That was unbelievable. But nonetheless, it was called for a high stick. And so a face-off here is won by the Crusaders in the Lancer zone. And taking this one is Sullivan around the goal, looking for options as he gets it to the blue line, and this one crosses the blue line, so it'll be a delayed offside, but he maintains possession, and this one is a penalty? Yes, a penalty for a high stick. I believe it is against the Lancers. Yes, it is. Coming to the penalty box is Shane White. He goes to the box, 2 minutes for high sticking, with 5:59 to go in this third period, and the Crusaders need a goal. They obviously need 3, and they got to capitalize on this power play to have a prayer. And so Maloney against Johnson, and a scramble off the face-off, but eventually the Crusaders win it, and Poitras loses. Excuse me, that's not Poitras, that's Donnelly. Donnelly lost his stick, but the Lancers clear for the moment, and another little funny bounce off of the stanchions, but very small one, and the Lancers clear down ice. And Donnelly here creating some trouble on the penalty kill forecheck, but he just gives it back up. And now a cross-ice pass taken by Poitras. Poitras, another cross-ice pass, but defended well by Austin as he drills it into the Lancer bench. And with 1:22 to go on this power play, the Crusaders are desperate and they are hungry for some goals. They need them quick, and they need them especially on at least one on this power play. And Donnelly here scales it down ice where Poitras takes it, and he's looking to get this Crusader power play on the board once again as they have capitalized on their chances. Coming in on goal was Pelletier, but Baldwin makes the save on the near side as he came in on goal quite easily. And here is Poitras again, and he gives it to Johnson, and the shot here, score! Deflected in front by Gendron. I believe that was Gendron who got the deflection, goes to the 5-hole of Baldwin, and it is a 2-goal game with 4:48 to go. And as I mentioned, the Crusaders are hungry, and they got one, and they need two more. 6-4 Lancers with 4:48 to go here in the third period. What a deflection in front by Gendron as his stick was perfectly positioned off of that shot from the blue line. And right off the face-off here is taken by Pelletier, but the Lancers clear. And so Cardro will give it to, that was Langley, I'll say it one more time, and he shoots this one very high and it hits the protective netting. So a face-off in the, I believe it's the neutral zone, right? Yep, neutral zone face-off. Right in front of the Lancer penalty box. And the Lancers here need to play their hearts out for the next 4:32 if they want to stay on top of this one, because the Crusaders are surging. And so, a little funky pass there and a wraparound shot by Murphy. And the puck seemed loose, but the referee blows it dead as miscommunication behind the goal line there for the Crusaders almost salted it away for the Lancers, but Murphy's backhander was too late as Broussard went from post to post and kept the pad down as this face-off here is won by Morissette. And now the Lancers chip this one behind the goal line, and here's Donnelly on the forecheck. And he eventually gives it to, that might have been Terrio. Yep, Terrio gave it up to the Crusaders, but now coming in on goal was Langley, but almost punching him off the puck was Austin, as this one is right in front of the crease, and Baldwin's just sitting there with his pad down, and boy, that's risky, I'll tell you. You just got to get some elevation on that, and that would have been a goal, but I'm surprised there's no penalty on Austin as he came in and punched his way to get the puck. I mean, I'll tell you, there was a lot of physicality on that scoring bid. And now with 3:53 to go, I would not be surprised if the Crusaders pull their goalie in about I'd say a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes from this point. As this face-off here is taken by McKenzie, cross-ice pass to Morissette. And Morissette here loses an edge, no penalty coming. Or excuse me, that's Patrick Murphy. It's number 12. That's Patrick Murphy, and he loses an edge. And a possible 2-on-1 opportunity. Here comes Johnson. Johnson cross-ice back to Johnson. Oh, and here's a penalty on the Lancers. And once again, elbowing is the call, and the Lancers will be on the penalty kill again. And it's Austin, as I mentioned previously. He might have gone to, or he should have gone to the box earlier for really punching his way on defense. But now he gets an elbowing call here. 2 minutes power play for the Crusaders, and there's now 3.5 to go. And the Crusaders need two goals in 3 minutes and 30 seconds with this 2-minute power play. It looks very possible now after their surge that they've been having here as the Crusaders win this one here. Give it to Poitras and a cross-ice pass. He's trying to give it to Cardros, but he controls here. Cardro gives it to Pelletier. A shot here. Rebound. Score! score right in front, and this one is quite interesting. 6-5. 3:17 to go. I don't know who scored it because there was a melee in front of the net. But nonetheless, the Crusaders are not going away. It is 6-5 with 3:17 to go. And when you think the Lancers are going to just salt this one away with a 3-goal lead in the third period, I wouldn't go anywhere. This is not over yet. Definitely not over yet. The Crusaders are surging, and they're surging hot. This one goes just wide off the face-off, and wow, what a game we have here. This one is gloved down by Nyman, and Nyman with some hesitation there, unable to get it in, but now he does, and he's in on the forecheck here. Great hustle by Nyman, and he wins the puck. Yes, he does. After all that, he wins the puck here, and he is looking for options. He gives it to Murphy, and he gives it up to Johnson, and looking for a breakaway there, but Danny Bear is on the spot. 2:30 to go, and the Crusaders just need one. This is quite interesting. I would not go anywhere, fellas. This is going to be a great one to finish up, and here's Muldoon here. 2-on-1 for the Lancers. Here's McKenzie back to Muldoon, but the Crusaders came back in a possible breakaway. Oh, that was really close. And now here comes Johnson, and a shot here goes straight up, and rebound goes right in front of the crease. And with 2 minutes to go, the Lancers are just living life on the edge, to say the least. I know I said that already, but damn, this is going to be a great last 2 minutes here as Nyman controls. And he goes cross ice to Austin. Austin back to Nyman, and they're looking to kill the clock here with 1:40 to go now. But they give up possession here to the Lancers. And chipping this one in deep is Jared Chan, the net. And here's Austin giving it up to Langley, and a shot here just goes over the bar. Although that was much farther than I anticipated, and the Crusaders pull their net. They are 6-on-5 now with 1:15 to go, and they need a goal. And the Lancers are just looking to assault this one away. They're trying to get this one out for a third straight win, but can they do it? Can they stop the surge of the Crusaders? 1:05 to go now, and a scrum behind the goal line. And I could have been a penalty there as Morissette falls to the ice, but none coming. So now the Austin here will take it as he gives it up to Johnson. Johnson looking for options, and he almost gives it up there, so he just chips this one behind the goal line. 45 seconds to go. Penalty upcoming here, and it will be against the Lancers again. Interference to call against, in particular, I can't tell you until he gets to the box. Oh, wow. I thought it was against the Lancers. I guess it's against the Crusaders. Going to the box was Jared Chandanet. I thought that penalty was against the Lancers, but I stand corrected. And now the Lancers, with 44.9 seconds to go, are looking to kill this one away, as they have the man advantage now, and the netminder of Brassard goes back into the net. And a timeout here taken by, I would assume, the Crusaders. Has your heart stopped yet? I'd be surprised if it hasn't, because the Lancers gave almost on the verge of giving up a 3-goal lead. But now I think we can rest our heart rates a little bit more, as the Lancers are on the power play for the remaining 44.3 seconds. But, you know, obviously, even with the man advantage, the Crusaders are going to be taking chances. They have to get the puck up ice and create some sort of scoring opportunity to have a shot at tying this one here. And I will give them all the credit in the world for coming back into this game, because I believe it was 6 or 7 minutes to go in this one when the Lancers extended their lead to 3. But now, after 2 goals by the Memorial Crusaders in a relatively quick fashion, the Lancers need to wake up, and obviously I'm thinking that they have, but they it's very close on many occasions. But again, I got to give so much credit for this Crusaders for making this an interesting game, because it could have just been put away had the Lancers scored one more, or had the Crusaders committed another penalty, and they did in the very late stages of this game. And now the face-off here is won by Molden, and a shot here deflected wide. And here come the Crusaders, are looking for another chance, and they cannot ice it because they are on the penalty kill. So they are just going to be chipping it in deep and looking for scoring opportunities. 31 seconds to go. And here's Danny Bears as he gives it to Murphy. Murphy lost it in the neutral ice. And here's Nyman, and he just, oh my goodness, almost hit one of the little kids in the stands. But luckily his father was who was alert. And this one is scaled out of play by Nyman, and as I've seen on numerous occasions, no delay of penalty exists. A penalty exists in the NHIAA, so the Lancers will remain on the penalty, on the power play. But the Crusaders just pulled their goaltender, and that shot there goes through a lot of traffic, and Baldwin snags it with the glove. 15.3 seconds left. That's how much time there is between the Lancers and a 3-game win streak. But the Crusaders have something to say about that. They scale it out here, and here comes Donnelly. Donnelly gives it to Maloney, and he will salt it away. What an entertaining game tonight, fellas. I will tell you, that is by far the most interesting, the most heart-stopping, the most exciting game I have ever been a part of. And the Lancers end up on top. But again, there's something to learn from this game, because they let up a bunch of leads and almost let up a loss here at home. But the reality is they didn't, and the buzzer sounds. A 7-5 victory for the Lancers here. What a high-scoring matchup it was, and I will tell you that the Lancers are 7-7. They are back to 500, where they were a couple of weeks ago, while the Manchester Memorial Crusaders dropped to 8-7. And once all of these standings are updated and all of the game results are recorded, I cannot wait to see how these standings play out and how everybody is positioned after all of this, because this is a game that could have gone either way. Obviously, throughout the game, lead change after lead change after lead change after momentum change after momentum change, and what an incredible game on both sides. And I'll tell you what, the Crusaders have nothing to hang their heads about, because they came back from several games where, from several, how do I want to phrase this? They were down several times throughout this game, and they never quit. They never quit, and they made this game interesting by doing such. And the Lancers were on their heels throughout that time while the Crusaders were surging. But the Lancers stay strong, and they hold on for a 7-5 victory over the Crusaders. And their next opponent, you said it, I mean, this is going to be a great game. Obviously, they beat the Pinkerton Astros 3-1 on their ice last time, but that is who their next opponent is, as the rival Pinkerton Astros are coming to the Salem Ice Center the next time the Lancers play a hockey game. My voice is wearing out, so I cannot say much more, but I will tell you that the Lancers are back to 500, and the Lancers are going into the dressing room with a 7-5 victory over the Manchester Memorial Crusaders. My name is Jake Ziegler, and wow, what a game we had here. Hopefully we get to see more of those coming in the near future. My name is Jake Ziegler, and I will see you next time here on Lancer Hockey.